So I missed a quarter. I missed a quarter because of the same perpetual problem that I've been having where time slips through my fingers, but I know that like multiple times a week, there can be weeks where there are multiple times 12, 13-hour days. So don't ask. I can't tell. But, there's that. In any case, more importantly, I'm queer. There's that. Anyways, yeah, so I guess I haven't said this before, but pansexual, non-binary, just for the records, definitely, definitely a bit queer. But if me winking at Casper didn't give it away. In any case, so right, that's what I'm thinking about. So there are those weeks where it's got to be like 70 hours, if not more, I guess. I mean, those things exist. I know that. And a lot of weeks are, I want to say, around the 50 to 60 mark kind of a thing. Sometimes that just goes lower because it's literally like I ran out of stuff I can do kind of a thing. Of course, also sometimes that's just me like lying to myself because it's like I don't want to have to like study and read and do all this stuff. I did that though like several times, and I'm kind of proud of myself for that one. Several books, summaries of summaries, technically, pages long originally, and then I write it down, and it's not as many pages, but it's still multiple pages. The various books that I actually have to like go back and review because I actually have to learn that stuff. That's why it's there. Business, leadership, personal finance, intrapersonal development, whatever the hell, right? Thoughts on it as far as all that's concerned, hours put in. The original idea was that there's this study, it's like, hey, more than 55 hours a week, there's that 35% increase of like stroke. For me, I'm presuming I can get away with it because I'm young, I'm healthy, and it's not that stressful. Sometimes I stress myself out, but that's me being a dumbass. Rather than like, some hard deadline where it's like, I'm going to lose my house if I don't, I don't even have a house. But yeah, that's kind of the point. In other updates, two more really, thinking about it. It's been a while. I am now a coffee addict. Really, I actually found out that I kind of like coffee, which is fun. Also, I figured out how to do my hair. It's more of a manual thing, which is it's actually nice because I figured out like the products and the methodology to like do this sort of stuff, and I can have these like really awesome curls that were, you know, before like once in a blue moon. But now it's like on demand, which is really cool. And it's important because people recognize me for like my hair. Like they remember like, wow, hair, that guy. Yeah. So fun updates. Other than that, I think the next thing was unfortunately about Trump. It is about Trump. So fun update as far as that's concerned. Kind of have to talk about it. It's kind of like history unfolding before your eyes. There are videos, and I'm going to link all of this because, of course, there are videos of, like, for example, as far as damning material is concerned, there are videos of Pam Bondi saying to someone in private, like, there are tens of thousands of hours. I'm recalling this from memory. Then I just watched it. Tens of thousands of hours of, like, illicit stuff, child porn specifically. And while they have campaigned on it, the Trump administration, to be like, we're going to release the Epstein files, that's taken like a really, really hard turn. Something has like gone on, and it's not that surprising either. Knowing Trump's personality as a narcissist, narcissists are self-destructive as fuck, and they're very unstable. They're not very good at keeping relationships. If there's any kind of criticism, they blow up. And I know this from personal experience because I knew a narcissist in college. If there's any kind of criticism, they blow up with this vitriol of just Yeah, so he did that. Trump did that to his own base and said that they were weak and stupid for wanting this Epstein stuff, and the prison video missing 3 minutes from it. And apparently, from a reliable source I came across this from, saying like there was left in the metadata that was deleted, not it resets. No one believes that anyway. Fox News, I'm seeing now clips of Fox News. It anchors popular ones coming out being like, this isn't right, something's wrong here. That's kind of crazy. It seems to be blowing up, and this is interesting. But at the same time, it's like it's also his second term, so did it even matter? Anyways, at least it's something for the history books, right? So just had to talk about that. Didn't really want to because I did a fucking rant last time, but history, it's happening right now. I mean, look at AI. Actually, I could talk about that right now. I saw this, it's almost actually kind of funny. I saw this ad. It was a basically a remake of this really kind of corny, bad 70s classic, cult classic, really. And it was a remake, and it was a trailer that was so bad. It was so bad and weird that I was like, that's AI. I know that's AI. That has to be AI. I know that's AI because it's been coming out like a bunch, like a whole lot. Where now it's like, huh, interesting. For the first time in human history, you can have in an automated sort of way where someone doesn't have to be like hands-on fiddling about, automated visual creation that is many times, sometimes, certainly it'll be getting to all the time, indistinguishable from reality or what a person would make, just the same. And that's a really interesting idea that I'm confronted with for the reasons that I and Casper are aware of. Casper and I. Anyways, but yeah, that's kind of the situation with that whole situation. It's particularly interesting because the stock market where it is right now, being arguably from multiple, seemingly pretty credible uh, indicators, Shiller P&E, the Q ratio, Warren Buffett indicator, being in the biggest bubble like ever in all of history. And it's funny that this is going on at the same time as some like massively hyped up thing that is going to take time to really unfurl, so to speak, in terms of its development. I've spoken with recently, should say this because, hey, mark in history, two people who are pretty well engaged in, steeped in AI development. One of them had their computer science degree, late 20s, doing computer science guy stuff for, work. The other one was same, and also uh, the owner, operator, creator of a tech company. Actually, just straight up. I had conversations with both of them, and they both think that with seemingly high confidence, AGI is coming within 5 to 10 years. Right now, entry level jobs are already being replaced. I'm seeing news articles about it. I'm seeing it in statistics. Entry level jobs are being replaced. And in 5 to 10 years, let me back up a little bit because I think this is interesting commentary. I came across this comment on a YouTube video or something like that, and it was about AI. And this guy was like going off saying that all these companies that are replacing the entry level jobs with AI won't have senior level positions because there won't be anyone to do that. There won't be anyone holding senior level positions in 15 years because you got rid of them all. You didn't ever hire them in the first place. Both of them with high degree of confidence, those two guys I was talking about, say that AGI will be arriving within 5 to 10. The irony of it is they won't need senior level position people in 15 years because 5 to 10 years earlier, they were replaced themselves with AI. This is interesting because, in particular, as a note from where I've heard this from multiple places, one of them being one of the guys that was talking about this, possibly even both, and also an article came out with some like big highfalutin tech guy investor being like AGI is going to replace 80% of jobs. The other stat that I got was from one of those guys, the tech company running dude, and he was saying 70. What happens when 70 or 80% of people lose their job? The entire world crashes. There's one way out, presumably one, and that's I almost said AGI, UBI, Universal Basic Income. Now, if we ever did do anything like that, it wouldn't be spectacular. It would be like, here's enough to live off of. Good luck buying a house. But at least for the people who, like me, and I was thinking about this, this is actually important to talk about as far as how I overlap with all of this. I have a speculation, and I think it's well reasoned, that in-person skilled professions are going to be the last ones replaced. Now, I had a scare earlier myself, funny enough, where I was coming across this guy who was running this company, and it was for like real estate. He does a lot of other stuff too, because there's a lot of other applications for this technology, but one of them was the listing photos are just AI. They're just created via AI. And they're artificial. They'll put in the grass and the sky, and all they need are the blueprints, floor plans, whatever the hell, schematics, whatever. And it can all just be automated, the 360 tour and all this sort of stuff. Now, here's the funny thing. Here's why I think I'm not the milkman, personally. Because multiple times I've come across people, there's multiple different arguments for this, but I'm going to give a couple of them. There's more than these couple of arguments I'm going to give. Number one is that I've come across agents multiple times who are like, we need to show the flaws. You have to show what is real and what is here, is effectively what they're saying. AI can't do that. Not really, not easily, certainly. So, in that sort of sense, having, hey, but I need real pictures of that property, and I, as a buyer, am not interested in fake ones. I need what's real. So that's good at least. Of course, again, if everyone else loses their job, then. But putting that aside, there's that, and then there's also, God bless their hearts, but the average age of the realtor in America is being a baby boomer. And they're not the most technologically literate. So if you come across a realtor, an average one, and you go to them and say, hey, listen, here's this program you can use, and it does a billion things. It's easy, we promise. It's not for them. So having a real person that they can just like talk to whenever and be like, cool, there's a photo of my house. I got it. I don't have to worry about the complexities involved and the legality of everything and managing whatever probably user unfriendly platform that some highfalutin tech company is going to have. That's mainly going to be utilized for the bigger projects, the bigger boys, the construction companies and stuff like that. And I can't even touch them anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to work for them regardless. So, that being said, after 14 minutes, here's a couple notes. Number one is I wrote this down, something to express. I'll just read it verbatim, because I certainly don't have it memorized. I ain't got the memory for it. The want to meet them one day and tell them how I've loved them so much longer than how long I've known them and how much potential they have to achieve greatness. I still got that goal. I still have that as a daily reminder, and sometimes it's needed for the issues that I'm going for that, again, Casper and I are privy to. I have a picture that is not technically mine up on my wall, and I have a note right under it that is mine that says remember why. And That's my note for me. And there's a lot of days that I use it. There's a lot of days that I wish I used it more. And there are some days where stuff happens and I don't use it at all, even though I actually know I want to. I know that logically. I know logically the answer. I know logically the answers for a lot of questions, and it's usually oriented around enlightenment or goodness for goodness sake, beauty for beauty's sake, love is the answer, that sort of stuff. And the fun thing is that it allows me to, I guess, construct more perspectives and answers and arguments from various perspectives that I am, at least momentarily, at times inclined towards. And it allows more of an unfurling of what attempts there can be made in the name of beauty and progress itself. How's the business going? Shit. It's actually going badly. This busy season apparently is a slow season, busy season. It's a slow, busy season. And I've been hit by it, and I'm not alone, which is nice because to commiserate is such a wonderful experience. But there are a lot of realtors though that tell me, and I've had conversations with, and they're like, this is a particularly bad year. And it makes sense. Trump's tariffs are fucking things up pretty badly. And the people who are selling, because I've seen it, I've seen the stats, it seems to be institutional sellers. They're selling at the height of the market. While everyone else, I work with the small people, the little person. Those people, they're waiting for rates to get better because to sell their house for a higher rate isn't something that they're so much inclined towards, especially in this currently economically uncertain time, which I think we're actually about to go into a recession, which is funny, but I suppose I'll talk about that next time. So they're uncertain, and of course the people who are trying to buy are fucked anyways, just on multiple fronts. Price of homes, of course the interest rates. So if the little person is fucked, the realtor that I work with is fucked because they're not working for BlackRock, and so then I am fucked. But here's actually the silver lining. I did some math and I figured out that based on the number of contacts that I have, which is approximately about 1,000, manually attained for the most part, with a couple hundred as an exception because of the thing that I joined, the group, the brokerage. I forgot words, excuse me. I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on a second. No, but so yeah, basically I'm kind of left out to hang to dry, but I did some math, again, currently, right? So I did some math though, and I realized that if I can average, say, like 200 contacts acquired per month, which isn't that high of a bar, I can get to. I'm currently trying to get to it. I still have amazingly a backlog of contacts I have to get in contact with. Don't ask me how, but thankfully the recontacting of them is taken care of. So that's the easing of the plate. Did some math, realized that, okay, well, my best month so far was 4,000, 4K, a little over. Again, that's revenue too. But if I can 3x the number of contacts that I have, and it's really based upon like, okay, well, what business am I getting? It's based from the contacts that I'm getting, right? The contacts I have. So that being what it is, if I can multiply that by 3, then hypothetically at least, what I should get, next year round should be 3 times. So that means joining brokerages and presenting lots, being their lots, and cold calling and going to events and presumably kind of perpetually meeting new people because at some point, aren't I gonna like run out? I'm one person and there's only so many events and so many different organizations that I can try to join and et cetera, et cetera. But there's potential and that's what I've got to look forward to. So as far as how the business is going, shit, but the future is anyway. Oh yeah, that one. So the The debt that went into the investment account in the beginning, and then there's that detail, right? So I don't know if I said this before, probably not. I did something funny. And what I did was I took out lots of money when I was in college, and I thought that I understood what was going on, and I made some bets, some pretty bad ones, but it's not the end, so to speak. The idea that I have for myself as a note to myself is I have until 2034. That's when the loan term ends, and the idea that I have is okay, well, with the money that you took out, did you make more money than what was ultimately owed in totality, right, with those loans? If the answer is yes, that I made more money, then mission accomplished, basically. So stick around. I'm going to. Been making a lot of bets in gold recently. It tops later than the stock market, so that's fun. Personal story. Honestly, I don't think we have time. It's been 20 minutes already, man. Hurry the fuck up. Oh yeah, okay. So expand on alien idea. This is fun. From the Pentagon and the possibilities there, and also what the fuck are they doing by not helping immediately if they are watching, like by covertly threatening leaders into changing things for the better. Also, are they sociopaths? Good questions. So as far as the answers that I have, I don't have anything. I'm a 25-year-old shithead. Why would I have answers? But if I were to speculate, I actually still don't know. Basically, here's the breakdown is the Pentagon papers that came out like in 2017, the videos and all this sort of shit. It looks like we're being watched and aliens are here. Not too far of a fetch, to be honest, because in all of the history of like the universe, for there to just be some sort of AI scan for like, hey, what planets would probably have life? Ding, 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 ding. You know, based off of like, I don't fucking know, light signatures. So they probably are here now. The question as to like why aren't they doing anything? That's a good one, and I don't know, but I'm kind of waiting for aliens to come and save us. Been making that joke for a while now. It's kind of a running joke of mine because we are fucking stupid as a species. The degree to which we fucked up from the very like creation of democracy and to not have like a hell bent perspective on just curbing corruption. Yeah, anyways, so we kind of fucked ourselves, and now we're reaping the consequences between like, you know, climate change and then also like everything else that's ever happened in history where like someone in power. I just the arguments concerning how we like should have evolved are in the book. TSOP. I'm 200 pages in, and I'm probably not going to finish by the beginning of 2026, which is slightly disappointing. But I'm also running a business and trying to learn shit. Today, for example, I went to like this social thing. It was a like queer craft thing, hence why like um and the whole time I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna write my book and chat some, presumably. And I chatted the whole time, got some numbers of some cuties that I love, and I'm thinking of being friends with them because I don't have any friends. But I don't know. All is well, I suppose. How did I get onto this subject? I was talking about aliens. In any case, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm really kind of, fingers crossing something bad's going to happen because it looks like it would be necessary, unfortunately. And then aliens come in and they're like, "Hey guys, we know you're all like back in Hooverville, but would you like some help?" And that'd be great because that shit's needed. It would have been great to have that several thousands of years ago, but who knows? I don't know what the answer is. I could speculate, but ultimately, that conversation can't really happen in this sort of format because ultimately, that's a conversation to have between Casper and I. Oh, yeah. So, kind of actually really related to what I was just talking about. After this, 24 minutes later, uh, going to read some because I still have to do that, or maybe like review. I have several books in that notebook. Anyways, And then I'm gonna go out and be more queer and meet more friends and et cetera, et cetera. Because being socially competent as an autistic person is really important. And sometimes I'm just not good at it. It feels weird, but it's a muscle that you need to train over and over again for me. And if I don't, I lose it. And if I lose it, that's not good because we live in a social reality. In any case, so there's my plan for, tonight. And remember, you can't forget your why if you're constantly reminded. So 25 minutes later, 2 quarters later, not really great of an update in terms of like, so how you doing? Like business wise. But next year is gonna be great. I just have to meet like 3,000 more people. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy actually. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, but I'm on the edge of my seat. Anyways, so that's it. Also, if this thing looks lumpy, it's because the fucking padding itself is lumpy. It's not like my tit isn't. I don't have tits. I'm kidding. Anyways, all right, that's it.